Okay, I want to talk about what happens to our soldiers when they're deployed in long and long. It's a long overdue talk we have to have with our soldiers, our veterans, and one of the concerns we need to address is what happens on these deployments. What's going on? That we have 5 to 25 soldiers committing suicide. Let's start with the VA. Let's start with what's going on at the Veterans Administration. We have had paperwork problems. We have had issues with deployments. We've had issues where we haven't been able to get to our locations properly. So right off the bat, they can fix these problems real easily, have an itinerary, and having a transitional program where veterans, when they're coming back from deployment, one of the concerns our soldiers need to address is transitioning back to civilian life, which we know after training it's not the same. So maybe there are some options on the table that have been overlooked. Maybe they need to start thinking about what's going on with our veterans and their families to get to the proper deployment area that they need to meet families. What happened in Benghazi, what's happened to our soldiers, is that a lot of our soldiers fear for their safety. They fear that the public is not going to embrace the issues. The problem is we have families that are in jeopardy right now and on our homeland that we need to talk to our community. We need to see an outreach, not just here, it's in other communities. If there's obvious safety issues that we have not ever dealt with in America before, we're dealing with issues in America today that we're not, it's, put it this way, if there is something burning in our basements and there's something that needs to be done, we need to know what kind of fire safety issues we're dealing with. If there's arson or any issue when it comes to children and it comes to safety and it comes to families, these are the things that we need to talk about. If our veterans feel threatened, if we feel threatened, and obviously they wouldn't be having these FBI code language out here, and it's obvious there's concerns. We all have to talk to our city council. We need to talk to town hall. We need to know what's going on, what we can do to protect our home, our communities, and be a little more safer. The whole reason for the Trump movement is to make sure that all of us are safer today. This isn't just a Trump issue. This is an issue for every American. How to be safer at home again, where our family doesn't have to wake up to something worse. Meaning our communities need to do more to protect our veterans. We need to do more to look out for our family, especially if you have family members that are in the military. We need to know that they're going to be safe going home and transitioning back from deployment. These are some of the concerns that are coming up for families because we are in all aspects, most families have not gotten the proper care they needed, and they're serving for the U.S. military. And the U.S. military has very much got to deal with what's going on with our veterans. There is no reason in the world that our veterans feel even least bit threatened. If they're coming back from deployment, they need to talk to their family. We need to have resources available, and there is resources I'm going to put in the link below. There's here in Pennsylvania, there's the VLP, and they can get a caseworker, and they can also meet with their caseworker. They can also get housing and also apply for other programs, which through the Soldier On program and also Fisher House, there are options on the table that weren't available for a lot of the Chapter 30 soldiers, those who served pre 9/11. We're talking about post 9/11, of course. Pre 9/11, there wasn't as much as there are now. Although these programs have been existent, we have more resources to get that information out. So we need to know what's going on with our families. We need to have a way to contact each other. If you can't contact me through email, hopefully you'll be able to contact the Catholic Charities in our region about some of the concerns that we're having in our neighborhood. If there are concerns, we need to talk to those around us. If there are issues, we need to be that much more aware and that much more engaged in what's going on, not just with our soldiers, but just everyday life. That's why I'm talking about these issues right now. Hopefully you can go to my blog, check my blog out, the Field Report. I do try to keep up with blog posts. Please make sure that you can pass on the word. We have veterans that need housing and would like to have better options, and the VLP is a good start. So try that and try some other options, and talk to other veterans. Talk to your other veterans. Find out if there's a VFW nearby, if there's other veterans that are trying to address the same concerns with law enforcement, especially because there might be things that other veterans are going through. And honestly, as veterans, vets help vets. That's a great way to start too. Hashtag vets help vets. So we need to get the word out on the street. We need to talk to our veterans. If there's any housing issues, homeless issues, we need to address it right away. Thank you for listening to my post. And as we're coming upon the 9/11 anniversary, this is a good time to be ahead of it. So why don't we sit down and talk about some of the options? Some of you were also JAG officers, military officers. Maybe there's things you can do as civilians now that you can help the veterans get back into they're getting back to living life again the way it used to be. It'll be really nice, believe me.